It's amazing what we got going on right now. We get, as you know, I just had Victoria on earlier, and we were talking about what's going on with what we. I don't know why, but it's been done. We opened we opened the border for terrorism over in Cuba. Why? Because we no longer Cuba as a terrorist right now. Cuba is no longer on a terrorist watch list anymore. We lifted that. We put the ban on it. We lifted the ban on Cuba or Castro. So they're now part of the United States. We give them sanctions to America. Why did we do that? And now you got the Chinese working towards fighting with the Japanese again. This is in this is over in Bangkok, and I want to know from you what you make of all this mess. This is from the Wall Street Journal. This is from Newsmax, and this is also coming from the Drudge Report as well as the Dish Watch. So there you go. I'm getting from those four places.
Well, this is coming from Rose Colombo and the Justice Club, who is also an author and a researcher and a critical thinker on the issues of injustices that have been happening in this country for over 20 years now. My opinion is that we have been electing anti-Americans, anti-constitutionalists into our government for many years now, for decades, since the Clintons came along. And New World Order supporters, globalists, and who are interested in their own self-gratification, gaining power and control over the entire world, basically. They're all vying for the one world leader position, and they're all vying for as much greedy assets and property and land and water and oceans and air that they can possibly grab up. And they're looking for depopulation of the planet, and they want to be the one world rulers. They want to destroy our way of life, the American way of life, our freedom, liberty, and rights. And they are vying for the scepter, the throne, the crown, and the robe, because they believe that they do not have to follow the rule of law in America, that the Constitution is dead, that they have replaced it with some foreign ideologies. They're attempting to replace it with foreign religious laws. And they are opening up the borders, which is all illegal amnesty. When you secretly pass a presidential directive, in 2009, when you just sat down at your desk after you were elected and order the migration of millions of Muslims from Palestine linked to Hamas, a terrorist organization, requiring the American people to pick up the tab approved by Hillary, Kerry, and Reid and the Democratic Party at that time in 2009, and then they secretly passed H.R. 1388 so they can bring them in as refugees. And then you pass the unread, unconstitutional, unlawful, and illegal Obamacare that provides death care to Americans only and to the unborn future U.S. natural-born citizens who would be preserving this land for future generations, and to be eligible to be a U.S. president. You've just opened the door to depopulation in America. You have opened the door to foreigners being the president of the United States and possibly eliminating the Constitution in the United States of America as they flood this nation with these illegal criminals, terrorists, cartel members, releasing prisoners and terrorists from prisons and Gitmo, and forcing Americans to pay for their living expenses, their Obamacare, their housing, their food, and allowing them to threaten Americans to kill us on U.S. soil without holding them accountable and deporting them, and allowing them to state on national TV and videos and tweets that they will dominate America, which means they are here to steal our nation, and not hold any of them accountable. Well, I think you pretty much had your fundamental transformation taking place in America.
Yeah. Yep. So true. Great talking points. Target points, I should say, not talking points. Target point memo. That's great because that's the kind of open-ended introduction that any kind of news analyst needs right now, and you don't see this on a factor or any other place at all. What you just talked about, and what you just said there is a truth, nothing but the truth. I mean, you said it in a nutshell, and you summed it right up perfectly where anybody with any common sense would understand it, and that's what's really neat about you as a great guest because you yourself used to be a journalist, you used to be in talk show, radio, and now here you are. You got you're you're basically another another talk show yourself, and here we are. We got you on as a commentary. I appreciate that. I really do. As a political analyst, that's what you are. You're a political analyst, and we appreciate that, Rose. We really do.
Well, you're very welcome. I've been doing this for over 20 years.
I know.
I'm an award-winning author. My information in my book has been to help people, self-help, and awaken them. It was featured around the world, recommended around the world, fight back legal abuse, and I was hoping to wake people up in time. But obviously, there's too many Americans who have their head buried in the sand, and too many that still do.
Yep.
And we don't have the same American leaders that we used to have who would stand up for the American people. You can actually see that in Congress, how they've all bowed down to Obama. Now, I don't know if there's threats because the Muslim Brotherhood works in the White House, DHS, and FEMA, and they've infiltrated our country. And I don't know what's going on behind the curtain in the scenes. I'm not there. So I don't know if people are threatened, but we certainly have lost a lot of whistleblowers, a lot of witnesses, and a lot of journalists and bankers.
Yeah, we have
Knowledge and scientists and chemists, and they're all Americans. So it's very interesting that so many Americans who have knowledge of corruption, say like in CTF and pedophilia and children being trafficked and sold into sex slaves and so forth, all of this information since the Senator John McCain flew out here and met with me in the 90s personally. And